Hello and welcome to the Urban GardenHER YouTube channel. My name is Alexis and I am the Urban GardenHER. Today I am going to take y'all along the journey of how I freeze my tomatoes. And I usually do this because when we have tomato harvest throughout the summer, we get a lot of them all at once and we're not going to cook all of our tomatoes. And so for us, the best way to be able to use our tomatoes without them going to waste is to preserve them. And there's different methods for preserving tomatoes. A lot of people that I've seen, a lot of homesteaders that have like a bunch of tomatoes, typically can their tomatoes using this same process, although I'm going to stop at a certain point because we are not going to can our tomatoes because one, I'm a working mom. I got my little one down here. And I just don't have the time or the equipment right now. So the easiest thing for us to do is to freeze them, which basically, again, like I mentioned, it does the same process as canning up to a certain point. We're going to stop before we get to the actual like blending and everything, which I'll show you all. But be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already, and let's get started. So the thing about freezing tomatoes is that when you are freezing your tomatoes for tomato sauce, which is what I plan to do, you're going to want to remove the skin off because it just makes for a smoother process when you're blending it up to make your tomato sauce by removing the skin layer. And so, some people, I have actually done it before where I've frozen my tomatoes with the skin on. I just I wash them off and throw them into a freezer bag and into the freezer. And then, we pull them out. But the thing is that, like I mentioned, it's going to be a longer process to blending them up because the skin is on them and you want to get the skin kind of, grounded up when you're blending for tomato sauce. But if you were to remove them ahead of time, then you don't have to go through that step. So we're just going to boil these. And the reason why we're boiling them is because we're going to boil them for a few minutes until the skin starts to burst. And then we're going to pull them out so that the skin bursts. It's easy to peel the skin off. So I will show y'all real quick. I'm just going to throw them in there, throw all my tomatoes. Got my little helper here. And that's simple as that. And we're just going to let this boil for a little bit until the skin bursts. So now that these are all in the ice bath, we're going to let these cool off a little bit because once we start to try to peel these off, we don't want these to be boiling hot. We're going to burn our fingers. So these are going to cool down a little bit. And then we're going to start to take them out and then peel them. And then we can throw them back into our strainer just to drain out any more water. And then we'll bag them up. So next we're going to remove the skin off our tomato, which should be a fairly easy process. As you can see, the tomatoes are finished blanching in here. So we're going to remove the skin by just peeling, and they're not hot anymore either. So we're just going to peel this off just like that to get the skin off. Easy as that. You can also like take the cores out as well, which I will do here. Just get that core out so that we don't have like that also in our sauce. And there. Easy as that. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is fill up our freezer bag with these tomatoes. And I actually got these reusable freezer bags from Amazon, which are linked in my description. And I got the reusable kind because I just felt like we were going through some like disposable freezer bags. And I just didn't feel like, that it was sustainable and it was like good for our environment. So we got these reusable ones instead so that we could just freeze our vegetables and even sometimes some meats and then wash them out and then reuse them for the next thing. So yeah, we freeze a lot of stuff around here. So why not get some reusable bags? So we're just going to just scoop our tomatoes. And I washed these already, these reusable bags. They're washable. They have like a little drying rack that you could order too, which I need to get. So for, mildew and all that stuff won't collect in here from the dampness when you're washing them. We're just going to scoop them in. Simple as that. So now we got our tomatoes in the bag, and you're gonna try to get as much air out as you can. You know, it's harder to kind of do that without, like I use this straw to kind of suck out some of the air, but you don't want to suck up the tomato sauce or juice. So this is as good as we're gonna get, which is fairly good. You see, like it doesn't leak or anything, which I'm happy about as well. And I'm just gonna lay this flat in the freezer so that we can make space for other things that we're freezing. Again, I love this process because, like I said, I'm a working mom. I don't have time to do canning and all that stuff. So we freeze a lot of our harvests. I prep them so that they'll be ready once we do take them out and defrost them. We're ready to cook, so that it's just a quicker process. And so I, you know, tomato sauce. Usually, what you would do after this, if you're canning, is that you would put this in a pot, boil up, well, season up, your sauce, blend it up using an immersion blender, and then you would get like a big pot of water and then your sterilized jars and put the tomato sauce in there and do whatever else that process requires to can it and make sure that it is not contaminated and it's sterile and all those things. I just don't have time for that. Again, working mom, got the little one right here. So this is just easier. You can just throw this in the freezer, call it a day, and that's it. So that's what we're gonna do with all our tomatoes that we harvested this summer. I probably got, I'm hoping to get like maybe 5, 6 more bags of these tomatoes so we can make soups and stews and all that this winter. But I hope this was helpful for you all. Be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And as always, happy gardening.